Welcome back, Bucktooth Buckos. OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 11 match against Lars, aka El Scissor, and the Borussia Donphan. We're playing him again the second time this season, and we're trying to pull out a victory. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for this narration. I'm going to be a little bit out of character here. And you're going to see why as this match commences. I'm going to get a tad emotional at points because of how the series of events progresses. And I'm going to do my best not to get too terribly loud. But here we're going to go. Team matchups. I outspeed anything on his team that isn't scarfed, and I see he leads us, so I'm thinking maybe he's scarfed. What's he going to lock himself into? I honestly thought he was going to switch out here because he had to know I was carrying HP Ice. He stays in and rock slides. He's not even scarfed and stays in. I don't understand that, and I knock off the Yachi Berry. And even with the Yachi Berry, I do at least 50%. Just a hair under 50% if he's fully especially defense and hit points. So I don't understand that, and I'm playing on tilt. But I bring in Boomstick, and I know he has to be fearing the Ice Punch. So I set up the substitute. This is my substitute Boomstick, and I got a little treat for you guys a little bit later in the match. But here, miss a gunk shot, no problem. But I'm like, okay, we need to keep this thing healthy a little bit. And I see the Giga Drain. I'm thinking he's probably a mix set. Based off of what he's going to need for coverage on my team overall. So I'm just going to stay and go for another gunk shot, because it does in the ballpark of 40%, and that's really good. Then I miss a pair of gunk shots, and he's going to crit me with a knockoff, which is going to take off my leftovers, which is going to make it harder for me to get substitutes up. So I'm going to bring in Hot Dog here. Now, if I had any damage on this thing whatsoever, any damage at all, I would be able to take it out with a single Flare Blitz, because Flare Blitz does minimum, like 80%. I am fully physically invested, and that, got low rolled so hard right there. Max damage I can do is 95%. And he's going to hit a Toxic here, so if I had any damage from either of those gunk shots and got this off, Hot Dog would not be toxic whatsoever. But unfortunately, that is not the case, and we are really behind the 8-ball now, losing Thunderous turn 1 to a play that just blows my mind, and the unfortunate misses early. So he has to switch out there. He just has to. He can't lose that thing yet, or things on my team just destroy him completely. So I set up the Morning Sun on his switch. He's going to bring in Drudagon, who I'm going to believe is a rough skin variant to stop Physical Arcanine. Switched in C4, and he Dragon Tails me out, which sends in Ambipom, which makes me have to switch again and bring out Celebi, but I'm completely physically defensive Celebi, and I know I can take those crunches for days. And we got those leftovers, so I'm not really worried about it at this point. Now I'm thinking he's got to switch something out here, not knowing what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to go for the Giga Drain because it hits everything else on his team for at least, well, besides this. Well, actually, I go for T-Wave here. I am ahead of myself in this match. I told you I was going to get emotional and get frazzled. So here I am frazzled. I paralyze this thing, and that's fantastic. I see no way for him to get rid of the paralysis based off of his team. So we're just going to go for the Psychic here. Going to do as close to taking him out as possible. Again, any prior damage from gunk shots, and this will be gone. Now he's going to crit me when he knocks off my leftovers with this. So we have 2 gunk shot misses, 2 crit knockoffs, and yeah. So we get the Giga Drain on the turn here. Now, I didn't really have anything to switch in because based off of what his coverage could have been, he could have just tanked anything on my team. I probably should have went to Jellicent there, but I was so on tilt at this point from everything that happened, I was just frustrated. So he's going to bring this thing out here, and this thing is going to prove to be a huge problem for my team as it has excellent coverage. And, you know, one of the 2 things I had to deal with this is gone in my Thunderous, just coming and getting that paralysis off and letting something else come in and just tank hits. My Arcanine, who I would have switched in on this right away, is crippled, toxic, and has little to no health. And I just wanted to stay in, see what he was going to do. I should have stayed in. I really thought he was going to switch his moves up there. Maybe go for a Fire Blast or Psychic move. And it turns out he does go for a Psychic move. I should have stayed in because I was fully physically defensive and I could have just recovered in this thing's face. Now, again, he hits me, I survive, but because I'm toxic, because that Tangrowth had an extra turn to stay in off my Flare Blitz, which would have killed with any prior damage, Arcanine is going to go down. So that is super... so frustrated. Now, I got to go for a Gunk Shot because it hits everything on his team for neutral damage, if not super effective, except for Landorus, which I know he's not going to switch in because it's the fastest remaining thing on his team, and he hasn't taken out the stuff on my team that he needs to outspeed. Now, he's slower than me this turn, so I know he has to Sucker Punch if he wants to get damage off. So he is going to go for that Sucker Punch, and I'm going to say, hey, guess what? You can Sucker Punch D's nuts. That's right, setting up the substitute right in this thing's face, and I actually made this set specifically to deal with this scenario. Unfortunately, he's going to switch out here, and we are going to get, guess what? Focus Punches off, baby. That's right. Dropping Focus Punches like bombs on Hiroshima. And unfortunately, that doesn't do a lot, but Rough Skin doesn't wreck our face, which makes me really happy because it would have killed us after these two hits. He is going to be able to crunch and take out my substitute. And we are going to get the second Focus Punch off. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a 3-hit KO, but anything I hit it with next is going to kill it, provided I can hit. But he's carrying the backup Sucker Punch, and that is enough to take out Ambipom. I really should have saw that coming, and I should have switched out into Jellicent to take a hit. I mean, even if he had crunched again, I have the Berry, and probably could have gotten a recover off. As you can see right here, I outspeed, and I should have checked to see how much health, if it would have even mattered, but I would have switched in on the predicted. Yeah, see, that was nothing with the Berry. Because I have the Cobra Berry, I think I said Yacht, you have the Cobra Berry. And we're going to go for the Scald here because I know I can take a big hit here. And I was at almost total full health, and if I could have burnt him, he would have still been doing that pathetic amount of damage. And there he's going to get a really good roll on the crunch damage, and I'm just going to try and recover to see if I can get a good roll variance to where I can scald him, hopefully burn him and finish him off and be at as high as health as possible. But as you can see, I am getting very, very little headway with this recover crunch combo. And I could sit here and do this all day, but with the way, I think I increased 2 hit points right there. But with the way the game has been playing, I was just waiting for a defense drop, and I was just like, okay, go for the Scald, and that's enough to take him out. So, Sasha's going to come out here, and I'm just like, okay, I might be able to take a Psyshock. I am completely physically defensive, but unfortunately, that just wasn't in the cards for us. I was so frustrated at this point, I didn't take the time. Not that I had a safe switch in anyways. And the champ is going to come in, make his appearance, and the champ is going to leave the building. And we don't even get the Life Orb recoil kill on this thing. So that's a 4-0 loss. A 4-0 loss to Lars. And I mean, he prepped well. He had a good team. He was prepped for my team. I just... so freaking frustrated at all that stupid crap that happened at the beginning of the match. And I mean, would I have won? Who knows? Lars is fantastic and probably would have beat me in the end anyways, but I really didn't want to get 4-0'd. That really kills my differential, and we were doing so well and losing our games by such a small margin. For that to happen at the very end of the season, it just extremely demoralizing and just pisses me off to no end. I apologize for the language. But again, nothing against Lars. He's a fantastic player. I love Lars. He's one of my He's one of my very good friends. I love talking to him. I love ribbing him, and he loves ribbing me. So that's always fun. But unfortunately, this match was just one of those frustrating RNG decided to just turn us over and do us dirty. So we are now 4-7, I think, and that completely eliminates us from getting anywhere close to a 500 record. I thought maybe if we could be just one game off, if we could end up with just outside of that, but no, that's not going to happen. Lars is going to beat us, and the Pittsburgh Pirattatas are winless in division matches in our history. We haven't beat A-Drive. We didn't beat Shady at all last year. I think we were the only 3 in the division. It was me, Shady, and A-Drive. But the only person I beat last season was John, and he wasn't in my division. The people I've beaten this season, none of which have been in my division. I didn't beat Gio. He beat me twice. Didn't beat Lars. He beat me twice. And now Dan has beat me. So, yeah, that's so... Ugh. But, I mean, the people we've beaten have all been out of conference. We started with Gubs. We beat Crimson Seabad. We beat Nick. And I have lost one. Am I really only at 3 victories? No, that's not right. Who's the 4th person we beat this season? And we'll pull the sheet up and give it a look. Oh. Shady. He is in our division this season. But we beat Shady and Nick and Crimson and Gubs. So those are our 4 victories, but every match we've had in the division we've lost, and they are our worst losses of the season. San Francisco Giants 5-0'd us in week 3. Borussia Donphan 3-0'd us, which should have been worse than that, but Arcanine crit him to save our differential there. Yeah, the Giants beat us 3-0 our second match, and now Lars has beat us 4-0 this match, which leaves us with 1 match left to end the season, and that is against A-Drive, a.k.a. Dan, and the St. Louis Rampardos, and just... This is our last chance this season to pull out a division victory, which would be our first division victory in the 2-season history of the Pittsburgh Pirattatas, as pathetic as that sounds. Not beating myself up, those are just the facts, and that's a terrible fact to have on your side. But, yeah, again, I apologize for the out-of-characterness here with the being upset and salty. I expect someone to be like, too much salt in the comments, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I expect someone to see, Lay's potato chips salted with your opponent's tears meme somewhere at some point. Sorry guys, again, I apologize for the downtroddenness of this match. I usually try to keep upbeat and positive. This match was just one of those matches that gets under the skin, because I really think I could have won this match. But, you know, the Hacks gods just were not on our side for this match. Sorry guys, this has been OldManTup, and thank you for watching Week 11 of the GBA against the Borussia Donphan and Lars, aka El Scizor. Be sure and watch his side. All the links will be in the description down below for him. Yeah. So, thanks to Tom for jetting my mons this week. Thanks to A-Drive for recording my match for me. Guys always pull through, and I can never thank you enough. Sorry guys, this is OldManTup, and we're approaching the 15-minute mark. So, leave a thumbs up down below if you enjoy salt. Sorry guys, catch you on the flip side. Peace.